So how does the aging TOW fare against the T-14 Armata, the mysterious new Russian super tank, rumored to secretly be a transformer robot with powers of flight? Let's compare the TOW's characteristics with the Armata's defensive capabilities and see what sparks they throw together. Once it hits the tank, the TOW-2A detonates a high-explosive anti-tank warhead, also known as a shaped charge or chemical penetrator. Conventional projectiles rely on kinetic energy, a combination of speed and mass, to pierce armor. But kinetic penetrators require heavy guns that produce tremendous recoil, and lose power over longer distances. A heat shell instead blasts a stream of metal particles at high velocity upon impact. Larger heat shells can penetrate more armor, but the speed of the shell or missile doesn't affect penetration. Starting in the 1980s, however, designers started making tanks that were especially resistant to heat warheads. Western tanks employed carbon composite armor. Soviet anti-tank missiles had as much effect on new Abrams and Challenger tanks in the Gulf War as spitballs on a hippo. Russian designs, on the other hand, employed explosive reactive armor, bricks of explosives that detonate at a missile's approach, tripping the heat warhead's jet before it gets close enough to the tank. ERA is a bit more finicky than Chobham armor, but cheaper and lighter weight. ERA had the potential to ruin the TOW's whole shtick. Thus, the TOW-2A has a tandem charge, 2 warheads, one in front to prematurely detonate the explosive reactive armor, and a second to follow through the hole and actually pierce the tank armor. Most of the deadlier infantry anti-tank weapons today, like the RPG-29, the T-14 and the Javelin, employ a tandem charge. Still, a tandem charge isn't foolproof, so consider now the TOW-2B and TOW-2B Aero. The latter has a longer range of 4.5 kilometers. These ditch the wired system for wireless guidance using a stealth frequency, still potentially vulnerable to jamming, but at least the operator isn't literally tethered to the missile. The TOW-2B can pull off a fancy move, rearing up into the sky as it nears the target so it can blast 2 explosively formed penetrators downwards into the target. This is highly effective because top armor on tanks is notoriously thin. A wireless version of the TOW-2A is also available. Embarrassing debuts aside, the T-14 looks like it has far superior defensive features compared to its predecessors. Like a Victorian lady, the Armata comes with layers of defensive petticoats designed to ward off unwelcome attention. First of all, there is the Afghanit's active protection system, which boasts both hard and soft kill capabilities, set in motion by 4 or 5 advanced millimeter wavelength ASA radar panels covering every aspect of the tank, providing warning of approaching projectiles. Soft kill defenses seek to coyly misdirect missiles. 4 multispectral smoke grenade dischargers can launch countermeasures that not only visually shroud the tank, but also mask the vehicle's infrared signature and block targeting lasers and radars. The optically guided TOW doesn't care about the latter, but if the operator can't see the tank then there's a better chance of missing, especially if the tank moves. The countermeasures also work in theory against top attack missiles, particularly if they aren't manually guided like the TOW. Next up, we have the hard kill element that swats down impertinent missiles that don't take no for an answer. The Afghanit's radar system automatically turns the turret towards incoming projectiles so that the active kill system can engage. 5 discharge tubes on each side of the turret can shoot rockets aimed at the incoming projectile. The Afghanit system is untested in action, but other hard kill systems such as Trophy have proven effective against missiles in combat. If the soft and hard kill systems don't do the trick, then the Armata explodes. That is, it explodes its relict explosive reactive armor. The Armata's radar times the detonation of an reactive armor brick just before the enemy missile or shell hits, supposedly well enough in advance to neutralize tandem charge warheads. Is that how things would actually work? Only one way find out. Rebels in Syria captured footage of a Syrian T-90 tank appearing to survive the impact of a TOW missile thanks to its older Contact 5 explosive reactive armor. What if our stalwart TOW missile manages to evade all of these defenses? Will it manage to pierce its way into the Armata's armored heart? In terms of conventional armor, the Armata is still believed to be a slightly less well-protected than an M1A2 Abrams or Leopard 2, judging by its weight of around 50 to 60 tons. For comparison, an M1 weighs 70 tons. A maximum thickness of 1,200 mm to 1,400 mm RHA equivalent versus heat warheads has been claimed in Russian sources for the ceramic armor plates. So, how good are the TOW-2's chances? Against a wire-guided system, the T-14's soft kill system will work if the Armata's radars are effective and the crew is quick enough to move the tank to a new position while the missile is in flight. The active kill system, however, might have a good chances of taking out the missile if it's as good as it's cracked up to be. Relict era will likely further complicate the missile's chances of penetrating. Even without that, whether the TOW-2's shaped charge can penetrate the frontal armor is looking dicey. The bottom line is multiple missiles might be required for one to get through. What about the wireless top attack TOW-2B? The Afghanit's active protection system, mounted on the turret side, doesn't appear usable against it. The Relict era will also be less effective, and the top armor will likely be easy to penetrate. In any event, there is a good chance that turret penetrations of the T-14 will knock out the vehicle's offensive capabilities but allow the hull with the crew to escape intact. It remains to be seen how many T